was, can you talk a little bit about the lift that guys like Joe and Dwight and Junior have given you off the bench to this point?
When Kubi got his second foul at St. John's, that was the first time he'd ever, since I'd been here, been in foul trouble. It's hard to get in foul trouble when you never play. But this year, he was never in foul trouble. And so we had Mo with 2, Czar with 2, and Kubi with 2. And we're playing Junior, Bikes, and Joe at the same time. And I don't know if that's ever happened.
Right.
Non-conference or conference. Obviously, Junior didn't play in non-conference, but I think Junior has really helped our team in practice because now we have a guy that can play the scout team point guard or play the scout team Dominique Jones. And I think that allows our starters to get more reps with one another. But then when we mix and match in practice, it allows Joe to play with Lazar or Joe to play with Jimmy. And then we've got to continue to work on it. But if Joe can keep playing good, then we can let Jimmy play on the perimeter. And now all of a sudden we're not as small, and it allows one of those 2 guards to take a rest. And so I think it's been invaluable what all of those guys have been able to do. And there for a long period of time, the only guy that I trusted was Bikes. And I don't think that Bikes has played great over the last 2 or 3 games. But what has happened is everybody kind of knows what we're going to get. And so he's kind of become just a solid contributor. And then Joe comes in, and I don't know if we would have won either of the last 2 games without Joe. And if we wouldn't have taken Junior off his red shirt, and I told him the day we made the decision, I said, in my heart, I believe you'll help us win 1 game. And that 1 game may change where we play in March. And I don't know if it's going to change where we play in March, but I think his contribution at St. John's, just that 1 6-minute stretch, could potentially change where we go.
As far as, there's a lot of extenuating circumstances that led, to the position that you guys are in right now in terms of the starters and the bench. But have you ever coached on a team, assistant or head coach, that it's taken this long to define a rotation? I mean, you're getting towards the end of the season, and finally you've got one, it seems like.
Well,
3 guys off the bench.
My season at New Orleans was similar to this. We didn't have as many guys wearing suits and ties on the bench, and we didn't have as many guys wearing uniforms on the bench, but there were so many unpredictable things. But this year, what started out thinking that we would have 9 or 10 guys that we could play, and then all of a sudden, when it really got gut check time, we had 6. That's not a healthy way to build a team. But I think that as the season has progressed, they've continued to work and have continued to improve, and I think that that's helped our team.
And the minutes that you get from these guys off the bench, now granted it might be 1 from Junior here, 2 there. This time of year, it makes a big difference, doesn't that, for the starters?
It's critical. And it's not just physical rest, it's mental rest. And I think that that's the thing that you have to, this time of the year, you have to spend so much time coaching their brains, not their legs. And for them to just sit down and know that for maybe 2 or 3 minutes real time, I'm not going to look at them or say anything to them or expect anything out of them, it's good for them emotionally just to rest. I think it's very healthy. You're right.
You've seen a lot of prolific scorers. Johnson, Syracuse, West Virginia's got a number of them. Where's Hazel rank in that?
I think that he ranks, he's 3rd in the league. I think he ranks like Dominique Jones, like when the ball's in his hand, he can really get one. But I think the difference between Dominique Jones and Hazel is Hazel probably gets half his points before he ever catches it because he works extremely hard coming off screens, and he reads them very well. He does take shots that sometimes you would marvel that he would take. But half the time he takes those shots, he makes those shots. He's a very, very talented player. That's a high-volume shooter. But a lot of the points that he scores them before he ever catches it because he does such a good job reading screens.
It's one of the keys with those guys. They play kind of an unusual style, and they've got guys like Hazel that will just throw a shot up from wherever, not to get sucked into that and kind of get into an up-and-down type game with them.
But their first 5 games in league play, they averaged 90 possessions. their second 5 games in league play, they averaged 80 possessions. And the last 5 games that they've played, they've averaged 79 possessions. So that's part of what happens in the league. I mean, any league. But relative to us, we have to be us. And we've got to throw good pitches every possession because we're not talented enough to turn it into a scoring contest. And because they have multiple guys that can do multiple things. I mean, Pope is averaging more rebounds than points. I don't know how many other BCS players that are starters that are doing that. You may know that, but it's been a long time since I've heard of that. I mean, he's averaging double figures and averaging more rebounds than points. So that's a big key in addition to Hazel.
But you're a win away from this program getting 5 straight wins of 10 or more at the Big East level. When people talk about the Big East, they talk about just how big it is, and the fact that losing, getting 9 is an accomplishment. What would it mean to get 10?
Well, it says that a lot about our institution. It says a lot about our administration, and it says a lot about the coaches that were here before me. Obviously, that was Coach Crean and his staff, and it says a great deal about the players that were here. You start rattling off all of the players that were in the program and the coaches that were in the program when they went to the Big East, and the jump that was involved, and all of the decisions and all of the newness and all of the things that go into that. Obviously, I've never been a part of it. I think that it speaks a great deal about all of the facets of having a program at this level. People don't. I think you go so fast sometimes. That's just because of how the world is. You don't realize how hard it is to win one. Just win one, and to win 10 every year in the best league. That incorporates a lot of people, not just one person. And the mantle that this job was when I was hired, I didn't create any of that, and I've never tried to take credit for it, nor will I. I just want to try to do my best to uphold it and hopefully push it out there just a little bit further, because I think that's what's happened throughout the course of this program's history.